Hello and welcome to my presentation on my class, Mathematics. My name is Mr. Surrender. I know it's a tough name to say. It rhymes with surrender. That's what I always tell the kids, so hopefully that helps you. The other teachers that teach along with me are Mrs. Dolly. She is the Learning Needs teacher. And Mrs. Tola. She is the Title I teacher. Transitioning from elementary school to middle school is a very difficult task. Your child typically will see 7 different teachers in one day, which compared to elementary school, that's a lot of moving every class. So it's very important that they stay organized, and you'll notice sometimes maybe they come home with papers everywhere. If you can assist them in this, that would be a great help to us. Part of getting them organized is the agenda books. They should be writing in their homework assignments for every class, and I know myself, I'm going to start stamping their agenda books this year, and I'll also put information on X2 as to how they're doing with homework. So if you don't see a stamp in the agenda book, definitely check X2, because I tend to update that as soon as possible. Their homework grades are usually in the night after they've handed them in, and their tests and quizzes are usually graded the next day. So you can stay on top of them that way. But organization is something that they will struggle with in some cases. So just be aware of that and try to help them along. And we're also going to do our part too. The biggest thing for me is not math class. It's safety. I want to make sure your child feels safe from physical harm and also from mental harm. I want all students to feel okay participating. And I have encouraged them all to be okay with getting wrong answers. We came up with a class with 5 different rules, and every student participated in this. There were other rules mentioned that were really good ideas too, but I wanted to keep things simple, so we stuck to 5 rules. The first one is to be respectful. It's an all-encompassing idea. Be respectful to me, the other teachers, to their classmates, and of course to themselves as well. Be honest. There's stiff penalties for cheating, so hopefully the students only want to do their own work. I always tell them it's important to push yourself and not worry about what your classmates are doing. Be helpful. Our class, we do a lot of partner activity, group activities, and students are learning best actually from each other and not from their teachers. So I try not to lecture too much. I let them teach each other as much as I possibly can. We want to challenge ourselves to do new things. Of course, everything that they do in school, hopefully, is somewhat new to them. So hopefully students have an attitude that they want to embrace challenges, and so that's part of that rule. And don't chew gum. It's just a pet peeve that I have, and some of the other teachers on the team also have. We as a team have come up with the idea that we'll give students a warning the first time that they are caught chewing gum, and after that they have to serve a session. Carlos@chicken.com, the McGraw-Hill website, Khan Academy, X2, and emailing me are good ways if you want to help your child succeed in math and you notice they're falling behind and you don't know what to do. Those are 5 great places to start. The way that they are graded is listed right there. In terms of grading, a big component is the weekly quizzes, and this is also a huge component in terms of helping them learn and maintain things that they otherwise might have lost. The weekly quizzes are always a review of previously taught concepts, and we put them together based on questions that students might have struggled with at first. So we want them eventually to learn the material. That's the goal in the end. It's not to get an A or a B, although that would be nice. We want them to eventually just learn the material. We will give about 28 of these this year, so 28 weeks, so you can expect a weekly quiz. They are distributed on Monday, and there'll be more details about that that your student maybe can share with you. Students can get extra help, so they're allowed to stay for extra help after school, and they can pass it in early for feedback. And what I will do, or Mrs. Dollar or Mrs. Tola, the other teachers that work in the classroom, they might highlight the problems that are wrong and just put a check mark next to ones that are right, so students know exactly what they need to fix. Point being, the sooner the students do it, the better that they will do. The weekly quizzes are all about effort. After school help, speaking of that with the weekly quiz, I'm usually available on Mondays and Wednesdays. If I do change my schedule around, I'll let the kids know. I try to give as much advance notice as I can. Meetings will come up. We have faculty meetings the first Tuesday of every month, and there's also a leadership committee at school which I am involved in, and that has meetings on Wednesdays. So I'll try to keep you abreast as best as I can as to when I will be available. This year in math, maybe it's familiar to you, maybe it's not, but critical thinking. We're trying to push the kids to think instead of memorize. There is, of course, still some memorization involved, so it's not completely shifting. And I want them to not just give me an answer, but show the work, give an explanation for how they arrived at their answer. I want them to be able to explain it. So that is it. If you need to get in touch with me, my email address is right there. Thank you for listening.